Welcome, Dustin, to Give Me 10. We are so happy that you are here. Welcome to the program.
Hey, it's great to be here.
You know, your dad and I have similar characteristics. Both him and I are pastors. We both work for the church, and we both have kids who are pastors who are much better than us. So I don't know. Does your dad also wake up thinking to himself, man, they blown right past me?
I guess you'd have to ask him that.
Okay, we'll have him on and we'll ask him those questions, those hard questions. Just maybe me and him will have a conversation about how proud we are of our kids. You are a pastor. Tell us where you pastor right now.
Yeah, right now, leading a church plant called Life Bridge Church, Adventist church plant in Tacoma, Washington.
Okay, that area of the country is a very unchurched area. Do you have an idea of how unchurched the area that you're planting a church is?
Yeah, very unchurched. I haven't looked at the statistics recently, but I know for quite a while, Washington has been in one of the top most unchurched states, and this is in the kind of the largest metro area of Washington. And so, yeah, there's definitely. I haven't looked at the research recently, but it's definitely a different feel that you're not always engaging with people on the same page of if you assume that everyone believes, that everyone claims the Bible is authoritative, that everyone wants to live a life with Jesus.
Yeah, I remember when I moved to Oregon. You lived in Oregon too. You know, there was no worship music playing on Sunday mornings in the stores. You know, like the South. It's a whole different animal. So your church planting in the middle of a pandemic. Let's start with one thing that you've tried. You had your best laid plans. You like, okay, this is gonna be awesome, except it wasn't. What would be something that maybe if you had to do it over again, you would have done it different?
Well, yeah, we definitely wanted going into it based on some other great successes that other Adventist church planters have had. One of our key strategies was to have kind of a community connection coordinator on our leadership team that would plan socials to engage the community and connect with them. And so we thought it would be a great idea on one of our first socials. We said, hey, let's leverage St. Patrick's Day. It's genius. We can even drop in a little story about how St. Patrick was the Sabbath keeper. So a little seed in there, and everyone wear green. Everyone bring something green to eat. And so we set up all the tables. The decoration looked great. We had games for kids and everything. And when we went to have it, it was like 2 weeks before the government lockdown. So people were already starting to retreat for coronavirus and stuff. And so we invited all these people to come, and like almost nobody came. And we have all these empty tables that are decorated and everything. We still had a good time with some of the team that were there, but it definitely wasn't the high impact thing that we were hoping for. And actually, it was the last social that we've been legally allowed to do because ever since for the last year, it's been illegal to get together in social group settings. So that definitely had to change our strategy a little bit.
That is just classic and perfect, right? Your best laid plans. It's like, let's have a social. Nobody knew it was going to be in the middle of a pandemic, right?
Right.
It's fantastic. Now, as you are planting a church in a secular area, unchurched area, can you talk to me about a couple of principles or ideas, things that could be universally reproduced, principles versus like, okay, this is what we did, but that only works in that area. What are some principles that you're learning during this church planting during a pandemic season?
That is a great question. And yeah, we've been learning a lot. Like we said, a lot of our plans got thrown out the window with the pandemic, but it's almost like God was enlarging our vision. And here's some of the things that has looked like well, I mentioned that we were going to do a bunch of community socials, and that's been like shut down. So one of the things that instead we've done is leaning into meeting essential community needs, because those haven't stopped. And so actually we've been able to connect with people that way. And that's been an incredibly successful and effective way to engage with unchurched people as well. So, for example, one of our team is a dentist. He has his own practice, and we said, hey, let's do a free dental clinic for the community. All the community service dental clinics that other organizations do had been shut down because of the pandemic, and we said we're going to find a way to make this happen because it's part of mission and people need to know Jesus. And so God started working miracles. We got approval from all the different places we needed to get approval. And then even we didn't even really have much of a venue to work with, just his little office. And we were going to do the rest of it outside in November, which would have been a bad idea in Washington State, cold and rainy. But then as we're talking to landlords, they said, hey, we have an extra space you can use if you want to use it if you need extra space. We said that'd be great. We're thinking like a 10 by 10 room, and then we go to do the walkthrough, and there's like 8 or 9 10 by 10 rooms. So we were able to enlarge the clinic, serve more people, and they gave it to us for free. God just worked in a powerful way. So we were able to give free dental care to almost 100 people. That's $38,000 worth of free dental care in the community. And the best part was the intentional strategy was, let's try to get people from the community serving with us so we can make friends with them. So we partnered with the dental hygiene school there at the local college, and they brought like 8 or 9 volunteers to come and help at the clinic. And so our game plan was, we don't want to just make a splash in the community. We want to make friends with these people. And so each of our team was challenged to look for 1 or 2 people that you can really connect with and that you can get a contact info and follow up with. And they did it. And so we still have some people from that clinic, some volunteers and some patients, unchurched. They weren't involved in any church or anything like that. They're journeying with us in that journey. And so that's been really exciting. We're planning future ones as well. So that'd be one, is meeting essential community needs. Another one, in order to build friendships. Another one has been definitely like living on mission and encouraging people, no matter what happens with the church organizational programming, like we're still disciples and we can still make an impact. That's what the church is. And so one of the ways that we've encouraged that is we've encouraged our team to be praying for that and looking for that, living for that. And so every week we have a leadership team meeting, and it had to transition to Zoom. I don't know how we still have all our team on Zoom once a week for an hour and a half for like the last year. It's been amazing. But one of their favorite parts, and my favorite parts, is we spend a half an hour talking about divine appointments and praises and prayer requests and people that we've been connecting with. And they'll share a story about how they had this conversation with their patient at work, or they were able to connect with their neighbor in a new way. And we celebrate that together, and they feed off of each other, and things that they would never take from me, the pastor, they're learning from each other as people who are out in the community and trying to live on mission. So that's been extremely encouraging. And then one last thing is, we realize that we have to go deep into online, and we have to take it way more seriously. Instead of just making the online a way to get people into our building, we need to see how to make disciples online and how to cater to that. And so we've really been stepping into really trying to form not just a stream of something that we're already doing, extending the back row type thing, but really something that caters to how can we help people live as disciples on a daily basis through this online experience. And so we're still developing that, but we have a lot of our interests from people living on mission, or these community needs that we're meeting are journeying with us online much before they journey with us in person. And so we see this as a huge part of our vision moving forward as well. And so anyone who wants to join the journey, you're welcome to. We're still looking for more team in that.
Okay, fantastic. In our last minute together, I just want to ask you a very straightforward question, and it's this. Sometimes when we're talking about leadership, and especially pastoral leadership, it can be easy sometimes to get cynical. You see decisions that are made, people that said they would volunteer don't. Along the way, somebody that you spend a lot of energy and time in doesn't come through. Decisions or organizational decision from the denomination, you can look at it and wish things were different. What is the importance? Tell me in the last 60 seconds, why is it important, or is it important to stay positive, to not become cynical as we lead? What impact does that have on your team as you're planting through a pandemic?
Great question, because there's a lot of things to get cynical about, especially when the government is changing the rules on you every single week of what you're allowed to do. And we choose. First of all, we have to say, what am I in control of? I'm not in control of those decisions that are happening. I'm not in control of all those things. What am I in control of? I'm in control of my mindset and the way I live my life as a disciple. And so when we take control of what we have control over and seek to be filled with the Holy Spirit and live on mission, then God does stuff, and he starts changing lives around us. And we start looking for these divine appointments, and we start looking for building these spiritual friendships with people. And we start seeing these incredible things happening. And the other stuff kind of just fades into the background because we're focusing on what we were created to focus on. And that's seeing changed lives by connecting with people, loving them, and introducing them to Jesus.
Well, thank you very much, Dustin. It's been a great conversation. Me and your dad say hi, and we're praying for you. God bless you, and continue doing the good work in the Pacific Northwest. Stay out of the rain, stay safe, and may you and your church be blessed today.
Thank you so much. Hey, God bless you guys.